Okay. So hi, Kelsey.
Hello, Michael.
Well, we just wanted to record this video for any of those friends and acquaintances that we have out there who are dealing with chronic pain, maybe rheumatoid arthritis, yeah, just pain in general. Because this Zoom with Kelsey was inspired by a conversation I had recently with a new person I met. Um, and I think it's fair to, well, I won't say her name, but she'll know because I might share this with several people. But yeah, I found last year. Well, I've been studying human biology and cancer and longevity for 14 years, and last year I stumbled across. Hold that thought here. I stumbled across what Washington State University, not me, says is likely to be the most important health promoting approach in the foreseeable future and may become the most extraordinary breakthrough in the history of health. That's a pretty nice little compliment. And I wanted to tell our viewer that the number one cause of inflammation and joint pain, back pain, whatever, just pain in general, is oxidative stress. And over 20 years ago, a 4 Nobel Prize nominated scientist slash laboratory doctor, not medical doctor, found the number one way of reducing oxidative stress and, as a result, inflammation by 40 to possibly 70%, depending on who you are, and doing it in a way that is sustainable, meaning through no drugs whatsoever, because you cannot take painkillers for the rest of your life without destroying your body, your liver especially. So I wanted to invite Kelsey on here because for years she was in tremendous pain, and I'm not going to say anything more than that. I'll let her tell her story. So give us a little roadmap.
Well, thank you, Michael. I have had osteoarthritis for years, but I am not one to want to sugarcoat or put a Band-Aid on. So I didn't do any kind of pain meds except for naproxen, which probably means the pain is a lot more than I could have, where most people would take narcotics or something of that nature. Uh, my inflammation in my joints on the whole right side of my body in the last 2 years, significantly right foot pain. I had arthritis in the top bones of my feet. My knee, arthritic. 2 years ago, I had an x-ray done full of arthritis. So 2 years ago, I was realizing my working life is going to be short-lived. I couldn't kneel. I'm in occupational therapy, so I'm always moving patients, heavy patients. I knew that was going to come to an end. So on the struggle bus I was in, I was just going to headstrong, keep going. I could not kneel on my knee. I could not fully bend my knee, flex my knee. The edema was too much. I was told I would be getting a knee replacement in the next few years. The pain went to, I've had pain in my CMC joint. Well, that's been going on for 5 years. So as that buildup went on, I lost all grip. I could no longer open a water bottle lid. I was at the point these last, I'd say 7 months, I was having a horrible time pulling up my pants or pushing my pants down. The pain would just shoot down my wrist. And the joint, which I don't know if you can really see it, but you can't see my CMC joints because after the protandum and the collagen, the inflammation left and they're back in their joints. I have zero pain. November of this last November, I would go to work praying because I knew this was going to be my last year to work. I had nothing. I was dropping everything. I couldn't hold on to anything in either one of my hands. Praying for something. I needed help. I knew I couldn't retire. I'm too young, 61. That this wasn't even an option for me. In November, I was getting to where I could not sleep at night. the pain in my iliac crest on the back where it's one hip to the other hip literally was throbbing. I could not sleep at night. So come February, I finally went back to my doctor and I said, I think my discs are shot. She said, oh my goodness. So she goes, for fun, because she knows I'm very stubborn. She goes, for fun, would you like to have an x-ray? I said, absolutely. She looked at the joints in my hands and you couldn't even touch the joints. They hurt so bad. So we went and got an x-ray, came back, and she goes, your spine for your age actually looks pretty good. So she put up the x-ray and showed me both of my hips are bone on bone. And she said, we have to get you scheduled for an ortho consult. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to miss work. And honestly, I have a fear in occupational therapy of infection. Just, I've seen so many, I've been in geriatrics for 27 years. So I've just seen things happen. I begged her, like, should I take more glucochondroitin? Like, could I just jam up on that, which I'd been taking for 15 years? She said, I don't even know why you're taking it. Your joints are so bad. I said, you have to think of something. There has to be something else for me out there. And she threw out the name collagen. So collagen, I had been researching because a friend of my husband's was trying to educate him on LifeVantage and the products. And she kept telling my husband, please just get your wife to try this. It will help her joint pain. I didn't realize a whole year went by. I was stuck in depression. I was stuck in panic, knowing that I probably was not going to be able to work. I literally, honestly, I was just scared to death. Financially, spiritually, emotionally, I was a mess, and mentally, it just affects your whole life. So I walked in the door and I said to my husband, go ahead and call the little gal talking about the collagen. I kind of had been researching on the fact that LifeVantage liquid collagen was the only collagen that had 10 peptides. All the other collagens, either liquid had 3, or if you could find one with 5, it was powder. And I knew powder was not good for your kidneys. So we went for it. And I am not kidding, Michael. My life changed in 2.5 weeks on the Petandem or the Pretandem and the collagen. I got out of bed and I wasn't walking the wall to the bathroom because my right foot would hurt. That's how bad my right foot would hurt. I actually walked to the bathroom. I could feel the bones in my foot. And then I was skeptical again and thought, that is a coincidence. Anyway, so I kept a little journal. Every day for the rest of that, on the second week, the pain in my foot disappeared. Another week went by and I realized I could bend my knee. It just kind of like went up my body like that, pain-wise. 3 weeks into it, I had 0 back pain. I had no back pain whatsoever. Yes, I still have bone on bone, both hips, so I have to be careful of how I adjust or pivot or move on that end. But when I hit 2.5 months, so I think about the 40% on 30-day scenario, that literally was me. That blew my mind at driving my car. So you're driving like this. I couldn't do that before. I was driving down the street. This is 10 weeks into this. And I looked at my hand and I could not see my bulging joint. I almost drove off the road because it blew my mind. Like the subtle changes with the Pretandem, it's so subtle you almost don't know what's happening. And I now have 0 pain. I am in a mode of 0 pain. And in 18 months, I'm going to go have my hips x-rayed again because somewhere my faith is back, but somewhere I feel like the collagen is repairing. It has to be repairing.
It seems like it should be. Yeah, I mean, your body.
I'm kneeling on my knee, I'm walking. Actually, I'm running in the hallways at work, and all the younger therapists, their minds are blown because they know the pain I have been in for the last 3 years.
Wow, that is amazing.
It has changed me. And on another aspect, Michael, I didn't know if you wanted me to talk about this, but I never knew what leveraged income was.
Okay.
And
Yeah,
through
that's the best part is, yeah, you can change people's lives.
in absolutely every direction. Like, I now will be able to retire far sooner than I thought I was going to be able to do. But the best part is I will be doing something that actually helps people. Like, it is all natural.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So yeah, Kelsey and I both stumbled into this our own way, her through chronic pain and inflammation, and me through the death of my father last year from cancer. And I wanted to keep people cancer free as much as I could anyway. And so I went on a mission to figure out what causes cancer. Oxidative stress is basically the primary cause of cancer. It kills mitochondria and turns your cells into cancer cells. And so when I figured out that there's only one company in the world that can reduce oxidative stress this much by 40% in 30 days, and maybe in some cases, if not many, 70%, depending on the situation, I just decided, like you did, to just go tell the world. So yeah, Kelsey and I are on a mission to um, keep, as they always like to say, put years in people's lives and life in those years. And we meet people every day who are in pain. 80% of this country is broke and 80% of this country is sick. And we have it in our power, you and me and our friends, to change both of those. And that's why we're working together as friends to collaborate and spread the word. For those of you who don't know, this company that we're talking about, LifeVantage, was officially branded LifeVantage in 2009, but it officially began under a different name over 20 years ago. And this 4 Nobel Prize nominated doctor found 5 plants on Earth, when used alone, don't really have much of an effect, but he was lucky enough to put them all together just by chance as part of scientific exploration, investigation, and found that the 5 plant compounds together are the most powerful antioxidant activating discovery known to known to health science so far. And so what it does is it triggers your body to produce at least 3 of the core antioxidants in levels that are hundreds of percent above where most people are right now. So, like, not to get all super sciencey, but yeah, like with the collagen, you can have a 2,700% increase in the antioxidant that suppresses inflammation, which many people don't know is named superoxide dismutase, but we'll just stop at that one. The other ones are 300%, 200%, regardless of what their names are. They have the #1 inflammation and cancer fighting and longevity promoting discovery in history. So that's pretty exciting. So anyone who's listening to this, reach out to the person who shared it with you, because I'm going to share it with Kelsey, and she can use this interview for her own benefit, and then I'll share it with mine as well. So thank you for watching our video. I think that's a good place to wrap it up, don't you think?
yes, thank you, Michael, for letting me share that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'm going to stop recording if I know how. There we go. And stop.